All right, ladies and gentlemen, 10 o'clock on the dot. Welcome to the first ever CoinScan AMA. It is a pleasure to bring on the Compete project. We've got JKOMPETE here. I know he is going to be the one representing Compete. He is the CEO. I also see Ethan in the chat. So yeah, welcome to the very first AMA. Justin, you want to start off just telling us a bit about yourself and what Compete is? Oh, I'm gonna add you as a speaker. Here we go.
Hey guys, how's it going? I am Justin Meister. I'm the founder of Compete. I own Modernized Games. We're the game studio making Compete. And it's nice to be here. So thanks for having me, guys. And to answer your question, what is Compete? All right, well, it's a team-based multiplayer game. Basically, we're putting all of the top multiplayer games that we see the most opportunity in into one game, and basically trying to get people to just get on this game and only play Compete rather than going and playing like 4 or 5 other games at a time.
Very cool. Would you say it's kind of like more of a casual game, an experienced game? I guess what kind of gamers are you looking to target with Compete?
It's somewhere in the middle. It's not too casual, but it's also not too skilled to where like you can get on the game and you can pick it up. The controls aren't too hard. The onboarding's not too hard. The game modes that we're putting in, you've probably played at one point in your life before, unless you're just brand spanking new to gaming.
Sure.
So, it's somewhere in the middle because that's where you kind of want to be. You don't want to be too advanced. You don't want to be too casual. There needs to be something for like the guy who's going to grind the game to really not. So it's somewhere in the middle, and that's a big part of the game design for us. Where it's like, oh, can't make it too hard, can't make it too simple. And the type of gamers is mass market. I'm talking like the dude who's sitting on Xbox playing like Warzone, Apex, Fortnite, PUBG, NBA 2K, Rocket League, any of those like free to play games, any of the sports games. Basically, the games that get the highest amount of traffic, specifically on console, but just in general, the highest amount of traffic.
Very cool. And if I'm not mistaken, there is golf, there's cards, basketball, and battle royale, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
Are you guys looking to launch with all of those game modes when the game exits beta?
So it's the first 2 are battle royale and kart race. Those are playable right now. The next 2, the golf and the basketball, those are a work in progress. So it's just going to depend upon the timing. I'm thinking we're going to be able to get golf in because that's a little bit easier than the basketball, but the basketball, it's a tougher game, and we want to make it good. There's a lot of animations and stuff. So basketball is probably, who knows, but it'll be launched sometime around then. And we won't wait for basketball to launch or anything like that. We won't be like waiting, like, okay, we're going to wait. It's other stuff that dictates when we end up launching out of closed beta.
For sure. Very cool. Yeah, I think that's the right move. Just pushing forward with what you can and what you've already got solidified. So what made you guys enter like the crypto world with Compete? Compete really does seem like a very entertaining game, and I'm sure it would do very well just as a normal like video game. So what made you guys really want to implement crypto into that?
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of the blockchain technology for the secondary marketplace mechanic of it. And our monetization is cosmetic based. There's no pay to win. So you can hop on to the game and you don't have to buy anything, you don't have to, do anything, you get on it and play. And the stuff we sell is all cosmetic based. So, t-shirts, weapon skins, basketballs, golf clubs, vehicles, things like that don't influence the game. So if you look at our monetization like that, we basically got like the free to play battle pass Fortnite-esque monetization. So when you have that, I think the secondary marketplace pairs really, really nicely with that. If you start putting in releasing quantity based cosmetics and then you implement the secondary marketplace, it just prevents some really cool opportunity. And I've been in the gaming trenches, which I think we'll get into in a little bit. But I used to be an ex professional gamer in Madden, NBA 2K, Fortnite, and I've been in the trenches. And when you go down there, you're gonna learn some stuff. And like one of the things I learned was, dude, like people when you go grind the game, they want to go and collect the cosmetics really hard. They love that.
Yeah.
Like you go start playing the game, you're into it, you're like, I want to make my guy cool. Well, like the next step to that is people are gonna start hitting you up and you're gonna start getting these rare cosmetics that might not be accessible to everyone else. And they're gonna be like, hey, I want to buy this cosmetic from you. So, for example, my Fortnite account, I got a ton of old, good, juicy, rare skins that I can't get rid of, even though people in the past have hit me up and said, "Hey, Justin, I want to buy, this skin from you for $50 or something like that." It's like I can't sell the skin to you. So it's like I've battled with that problem in the trenches, and then it's like an NBA 2K. Man, don't even get me started about this game, but dude, I've collected these same stupid ass shoes
Yeah.
for like 6 years in a row. And the shoes cost like
Yeah.
$7. So it's like I paid like $50 for the same exact digital item, like literally copy paste. And
Yeah.
I just after like being on that side of it, I just think there's a healthy medium where like, hey, we you can be happy as a gamer where like you can get rid of those cosmetics if you want to. And then also on the business side, where like if you set it up properly from the beginning with the secondary marketplace, I think you'll make just as much money, if not more, by doing like the quantity based stuff and everything like that. So, to go back to the original question, like what made you jump in? It's really just me battling those problems head on and then realizing like, hey, the secondary marketplace solves a lot of this stuff, which is really nice. And the secondary marketplace is built on blockchain technology. Uh, so, so here we are basically. It just fits into the monetization at the end of the day.
Right. Yeah. And hearing you talk about how, you guys really came up with a solution to a problem that you were facing firsthand, I think that speaks a lot to just the spirits of the team. You guys are coming from the right place with your goals and intentions, and I think that's really cool to see.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Uh,
It wasn't random. It wasn't anything where like, oh yeah, like like we're gonna
for
reach
sure.
here or something like that. Like when I originally wrote the GDD, like the initial game design, this was in here.
Yeah.
Like I was like, hey, we need to figure out how to put in some secondary marketplace, but we didn't know the technology at the time because I wrote the GDD like 2+ years ago, like right before NFTs were like getting real big and like before I knew
Mm,
about the technology and stuff like that. Because I never could understand. I was like, why don't any of these games have the secondary marketplace? Because Steam Community Market crushes it.
right.
Everybody loves
Right.
it. And if you don't know what that is, it's a secondary marketplace on Steam, like the video game launcher Steam. And you can buy and sell the Steam cosmetics from the Steam games, like Rust, CSGO, with other players, but you can't cash out on Steam. You have to use a third party service to go and cash out. But the funny thing is that like so many people use the third party service. So basically, there's just like all this data out there that's like saying like, yeah, people want to go and buy and sell their cosmetics items with other people. So we're just leaning into that, and it happens that the technology to do that easy is on blockchain.
Yeah. And I remember when CSGO, was really popular. There was a huge market for like, those aftermarket knives and
Oh yeah.
whatnot on the community marketplace. Like that was such a big part of this whole CS:GO thing.
Oh man, yeah, huge. And it still is. Like the volume is just insane. So we're onto the premise of just make a really good game, and I mean that could be our marketplace.
Yeah, very cool. Well, how many members are on the compete team?
So we got about 20 guys. We're floating around there. There's some people who aren't fully you know putting in the 40 hours a week, but floating around 20 core, and then
Right.
like a few extra, like I was just saying, that are, floating in and out as needed.
And then just out of curiosity, do you work with like many contractors, or are they mostly employees? Or...
Yeah, a bit of both.
Okay.
Just would
Cool.
depend on
Yeah,
the
and then
situation. A lot of stuff in game development ends up getting outsourced. And you go look at like
yeah,
Epic Games, anything like that, or like High Res Studios, who makes Rogue Company. You go like look at their pipeline on ArtStation and stuff like that. You'll find similar setup.
and then you want to touch a bit on your esports background?
Yeah. So I mentioned it before, that I used to play professionally in Madden and Fortnite and NBA 2K. Definitely the best in NBA 2K. Kind of bad at Fortnite in like hindsight, just because so many little kids are cracked, and I competed professionally when I was like when at the beginning of Fortnite, when kids weren't as good.
Yeah.
Not to take anything away from me, but NBA 2K, I can confidently say like I was one of the best. And if I were to go grind that game, I'm sure I would be one of the best again.
Right.
So, and then Madden, I mean, that's where it all started for me. It all started there because I started playing in college. Well, I played before that, but like really taking it serious. I joined all these tournaments and I would just mop kids up. I just had a nice scheme, really. And
Yeah.
I was basically able to, have a part-time job from that in college. So like rather than going and working, I would just grind Madden games pretty much.
Nice.
So
That's
go ahead.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it prepared me a lot. I mean, dude, I really feel that I've been preparing my whole life to create a game. Just grinding in the trenches, developing the software before running the marketing. All just like kind of came together in like a perfect alignment, it feels.
Yeah. No, hearing your story, I think, definitely sounds like, stars have aligned and everything has, just been a perfect storm to bring Compete to conception. Then looking on your website, your bio mentions a bit of entrepreneurial marketing experience. Could you touch on that?
Yeah, totally. So used to run a marketing company. That's how I've made all of my money. I came out of college. I started a marketing company. Almost failed at first. Then I learned SEO, and I leveraged that hard. Just really leaned into that. Basically, got really good at SEO, running some ads. So I like would do that for local companies, some affiliate stuff, and then helped run a counseling business with my dad. It's like ran all the marketing for him, and that did super well. And then I was basically came to a point with the marketing and the counseling where I was like, man, like I like can't scale this up anymore. Like I would have to take a real like drastic change in approach, and I was already like doing real well, and I was like battling this scaling problem for a couple of years. And I was just like, look, like I know so much about the video games, the marketing, like can I ever build a $1 billion company from the marketing? I'd have to create a really cool software that solves a really big problem. Then like sure that probably exists somewhere, but it's hard. A lot of people have already created these softwares for the marketing and for the all that stuff. You gotta have a really unique idea. And so I basically was like, all right, well, I think that I'm gonna go make a video game. So I started looking into it, and I like started looking into how much these companies are making. It's like billions of dollars for NBA 2K, for Fortnite, for these like free to play games. I know those are massive,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying like that. I know those are massive. And you're like, whoa, crazy. But the thing is it's like, dude, if I go make the game and I hit those requirements, I'm in the same playing field as all of those games. When like I'm not in the same playing field as, let's say, like a Weber or like Active Campaign, some like email autoresponder, or like MailChimp,
Right.
who's valued at just like a shit ton. Like it's just like, dude, I'm not getting there. There's like too much competition there. But like the game, like I can make my own unique idea, which you can't do with software as much.
Yeah.
it's harder, but like you can really make your own unique idea with the video game, with the entertainment side, and then like put yourself into the playing field. If you meet the tech requirements, of course, you got to meet the tech requirements. But you know, like if I was just like making a game and didn't have all those requirements, like the cross-platform and things like that, it's like, well, then you're not in the same playing field. But
Right.
at the end of the day, that's basically how I got here in terms of that.
Okay. Yeah. You know, sounds like it's a very well-rounded experience. You know, I know you talked about the marketplace and how big of a solution that is to some of the problems within many AAA games currently. Could you talk about the compete tokens influence within the marketplace and how that kind of
Yeah,
operates?
totally. So everything on the secondary marketplace on the private blockchain, or sorry, the public blockchain, is dealt in compete token. So you have to transact in compete token on the secondary marketplace always. Can't transact in Ethereum or anything else. It's all done in
Okay.
compete token. So like, let's say you go and earn a basketball in the game and you want to list it on the marketplace, you would list it in compete token. And then let's say you wanted to buy a really cool cosmetic from the marketplace, well, then you would go buy it in compete token. And then, of course, you know, once the transaction occurs, you either get the cosmetic or you get your money, and then it's in your account, and then you can cash out on Uniswap, decentralized exchange. So it's like it's literally the tool that gets you in and out of your cosmetic items.
Okay. Very cool. Could you talk kind of about the tokenomics of it a little bit?
Yeah. What specifically would you like to know?
Like where the taxes
Okay.
go, if there's reserves and what those are reserved for, as well as,
Totally.
you know, when those are getting dispersed.
Okay. So there's a lot of details about this, just in general. So I highly recommend going to the white paper because everything will be laid out very, very cleanly in there. All right. So the
Right.
basic tokenomics are there is 600 million tokens right now publicly available. We burned 150 million. Then there's 50 million for central exchange in the future if it works. Then there's founders 50 million, team 50 million, development and marketing 100 million. And again, all of this is written very cleanly in the white paper. So it's way better to go take a deep dive into there than, you know, wing it when
For
you're
sure.
thinking of buying compete token. All right. So the locks for the development and marketing of centralized exchange, they're locked for 90 days at a time, but we relock them and we only keep it at 90 days because those will only be used when we significantly lower the taxes. Okay, so just know, like, end of the day, basic thing is like, hey, there's private supply. We're not touching the private supply until taxes are lowered. Those will always just be
Yeah.
relocked or whatever. So once taxes are lowered, significantly lowered, then we would potentially use the private supply as we see fit. Because just full disclosure, like at the end of the day, we're like running this as a business, so we got to make money off of it. So just know that
Right.
the two methods are the taxes and then development and marketing fund in the future. And in regards to the taxes, right now when you go to swap, it's 10%. And in the future, it'll definitely be lowered as we hit our goals and as we progress with the project. So again, I would go take a deep dive into the white paper for all of the specific tokenomics. But in a nutshell, that is it, I think, unless you have like very specific questions on the tokenomics.
Yeah. And I will second their white paper is very clean and informative.
Thank you.
Um, yeah. I guess so. You know, you talked about lowering the taxes. Is that something you guys plan to do like progressively, like maybe a percent here and there, or is it something you guys think you'll just drop when it's appropriate?
Yeah, good question. I think we'll drop it when it's appropriate. We're kind of letting it dictate how we move with the progress of the project. Because
Yeah.
because just think about like this: the tokens used for the secondary marketplace So it's like we're not going to make people pay 15 or 15% or whatever on the secondary marketplace.
Right.
So just know like literally it has to be lowered, otherwise there'd be no point to the secondary marketplace.
Yeah.
So just know that, and it's also, by the way, it's already been lowered in the past. Like it was higher when we launched and stuff like that. And also keep in mind, I know no one likes taxes. I fucking hate taxes too, but goes to help fund the project, which helps keep it successful. Like the reason we've been able to get so much momentum and stuff like that is partially because of the taxes. You know, I still fund a decent amount of the project, but the taxes do help, and I literally spend all of it on the game. So just know that. Like I'm not
Right.
sitting there pocketing it or anything like that, dude. I'm good. You know, I don't need it. I want to make the game as successful as possible. So yeah, and like, dude, to me personally, just like when I go in trade tokens on Uniswap and stuff like that, it's kind of tempting to like go to a 0-0 tax, but like, dude, just know in the back of your head the developers probably have some fat bag they're dumping on you somewhere.
Right.
So it's like,
Yeah.
sometimes I would rather pay the taxes, because it's like, well, hey, at least these guys are like, they got the taxes and they're making the money, and the project's going to be successful because it's making money. And you want the project to create revenue. And I think, speaking of that, that's another like kind of milestone. As we start to create more revenue, you know, taxes also go down. So it's like we start selling the cosmetic items and stuff like that, roll out the marketplace, taxes go down. So bright future is what I'm getting at, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Taxes are definitely beneficial when used properly. I mean, even trading like a no tax coin, I've had times where I forget my slippage is at like 50%, and then I just get taxed 50%.
Yeah, done it before myself
Yeah.
in
So
the
there's
old
definitely
days.
pros and cons to both sides, but
Yep.
you guys seem to have your head screwed on straight, and I do not. I personally don't have any problem with the tax.
At this low of a cap, I don't think it's an issue.
Right.
You get higher up,
Right.
then yeah, so
Yeah, and it's so volatile. Like what's a 10% tax when it's just fluctuates so much.
sure.
But yeah. So I guess, when did the token launch?
Let's get you an official date. It's like about 7 months ago.
Okay.
Yep, 7 months, 16 days ago.
Okay. Right on. So quite a while, and I know you've said you wrote the kind of idea down for the game, what, 2.5 years ago?
Yeah, just about. It's probably like 26 months ago or something.
So how long was I guess, how long was the ball rolling before you guys put out the token?
About a year and a half. Then we started the project like a month or so after I wrote the very initial idea.
Hmm.
So we pretty much had our 2-year anniversary like a couple weeks ago for like
Nice.
officially
Nice.
developing, like code to Visual
For
Studio.
sure. Is the game like all from scratch? Is it based off of some templates?
Yeah, it's all from scratch. There's definitely some stuff in there. Like for example, the vehicle system we just
Right.
implemented. I mean, like UE5 has a plugin, or UE has a plugin for the vehicle system, but that doesn't mean it's just
Okay.
drop and drag completely works.
For sure.
Like
Sure.
there's still so much work that goes into some stuff like that. But no, I mean, like the shooting system, like all of our shooting, 100% built from scratch. So
Nice.
like
Well, I think
stuff like that, yeah, which is real cool.
yeah, that's pretty impressive. I mean, it's pretty evident that you guys have been working on this for quite some time.
Oh yeah, decent amount.
Right. It's also really cool just seeing how much you guys care about it.
Oh, so much.
You
We live and breathe it every day.
Right.
Like literally just wake up just all day, all day, all day.
And then there's a lot of gray areas in crypto regulation and what's decided to be a security and what isn't. Can you kind of touch on anything that you guys are doing to make sure that you are, staying as within regulations as you can?
Yeah, so we have a legal team that reviews everything, wrote our privacy policy terms, all that good stuff. So we got legal on our back reviewing everything. They know all the monetization. They know all of that stuff. Before we launched the token, we did a ton of research and worked again with legal to ensure that we're setting up everything properly. And the biggest thing that it comes down to is like token needs utility in the game, and it 100% has that utility. Like it's used on the secondary marketplace, it's used to access the closed testing, it's used to enter the giveaways, it's used to access exclusive cosmetics in the future. So like it's really an integral part of development and also some of the monetization. So yeah, with that said, you know, we're going through all the necessary steps and we've set it up to be like real basic. Like if you notice, like no staking, no like expectation of profit. We're not, you know, saying, oh, you're going to get this crazy APR if you throw in, you know, there's nothing like that at all. It's like very, very basic. Like even our contract's 100% unique, you know, by the way, like we wrote it, and yeah, that's like my final thought on that is that it's just like a basic contract that serves the purpose of providing that utility for the secondary marketplace.
Nice. Yeah. You know, I think it's super cool that you guys, you know, behave the way that you do as far as, you know, representing yourself in a regulatorily compliant fashion. You know, I mean, that's something we have to do here at CoinScan, and it's something that's extremely rare in crypto.
Yeah.
And I know that it's not always the easiest thing. But yeah, that's just really cool to see that that's a step that you guys have made sure to take. You know, I think it really speaks to the professionalism of the entire team.
Thanks, appreciate that.
Yeah. What's the biggest problem that you guys have overcome so far?
This is gonna sound silly, but it's probably been the user interface. It's been a real pesky.
Okay.
The UI.
Yeah.
And basically it's been pesky because there's like some optimization stuff that goes into it. You have to create it for cross-platform too. So like it has to the design has to work on you know, console, on PC, and then on mobile, which like sounds not that hard, but it actually is real hard. Kind of like restricts you how you can set it up. That's why even on Apex Legends on console, they have like a cursor that you navigate with on the controller.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Because it's like seriously such a pain in the ass to like set up your menu to look good, but then also at the same time accommodate all these platforms. And you really don't want to make like 3 different menus. It's a huge pain in the ass. There's just so many screens. Like wow, there's just so many. And every little thing, like let's say for example you have a new state that your player's in and something appears differently on the inventory, like on the screen, like you're gonna have to copy that whole screen you just made and then make it again and provide that one little change, but then you got to do that like 100 times. So it's like, you know, you're making this one little change like 100 times, and then it's like, oh wait, we want to move the text over 5 pixels, and then you got to like go back to like 500 different frames and move it over 5 pixels. So it's just real tedious process. The web design stuff is much easier, but especially too because like you need kind of a real unique guy to make the UI in game, and especially the HUD, which is the user interface for what you see like literally when you're playing the game, and then the UI in the main menu. So because that guy needs to know about video games. Like if you go like, you know, get somebody who doesn't know about video games, you're gonna be like, well, I don't know what this does, I don't know what that does. So what's funny is like basically at the end of the day, because a lot of times the game designer is the person who is also the 2D artist who goes and like creates the user interface. So anyways, it's a real annoying pipeline is what I'm getting at. So and I gave you guys a real deep description of it, but at the end of the day, it's just like this random thing that you would think would be so easy. And you like, I remember the first time I'm like, oh, we just need the UI. It's so simple. And then it's like so much longer later that we're like finally implemented. But now, hey, good news is we got it all figured out. All right, so it's
Awesome.
like we're easily able to get the screens in. We got the cross-platform working. Like if you go on our menu now, it works on controller. The streamer, Mr. Forbet, was just playing on
Oh,
controller. It works on mobile as well, which we haven't released yet, but it does. And then of course works on PC. So yeah, problem solved. But it was annoyance to get there, which is it's just crazy because like we're doing so much more complicated stuff on other sections, and that's like that has been easier than the user interface. So
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I know you guys are wanting to be cross-platform. Is that something that you think you'll be launching with?
Yeah, that's the big thing I want to wait for. I don't have exact launch plan in regards to that, like if we're gonna wait for it or not. I'm gonna have that be a kind of a game time decision as things get ready, because I'm not being ambiguous with it. It's just that with the video game development, you really need everything like set before you start bringing mass traffic to it. Otherwise,
Right.
dude, you're just wasting money.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing there.
Right on. And then what's the application process like for getting the game out on things like consoles and I guess even mobile
Yeah,
devices?
so we'll start with console. So you're gonna apply to the partner network for PlayStation, Xbox, which we both have, and we both were accepted.
Mm-hmm.
So like you send them basically like document about the game, and you'll even send them a build of the game.
Hmm.
Sometimes depends, how early in the process. Usually up front in the process, you just tell them the game, and they're like, okay, cool, like this is interesting, and then send them a build after. So basically just your standard application process, I would say. Give us info about the game, apply, accept or deny, get accepted, then you get into like a dashboard, or you get a contact, and then you either work within the dashboard or the contact.
Hmm. Okay, that's cool. And you said that's something you guys have already done.
Yeah, we're waiting here
Okay.
to officially start the porting. We need to finish
Okay.
the full UE5 migration. We have UE5 up and running. We have for the last like 3-4 weeks, but it's still a long migration process. So there's still like stuff to clean up from it, still stuff to like make sure everything's 100% working back the way that it was when we were back on
Yeah.
UE4. And then once we get there, then the port will start. Just making sure that everything's 100% ready for when we go port, so it's like full focus. And the port, I know it sounds like hard, but I don't think it is. We already
Okay.
ported to mobile, and that's got way stricter requirements and way more annoyances to
Mm-hmm.
make work. So I don't see any issues porting to the devices. And like from people I've
Sweet.
talked to, they were saying it took a couple months or something, if that. So really not too big of a deal. It seems it's more so like there's like a ton of rules that they have on their
Yeah.
marketplaces. And by the way, I want a full disclosure that just in case it's not clear, is that right now there would be no crypto on consoles because they have their own rules and stuff like that, kind of like Steam does.
Right.
So I just want to make that real clear because some people were getting confused. But I know if you like go do the research and you look up on our website and read the white paper and stuff, it's very clear that it says like, hey guys, we're going to follow all of the marketplace rules. We're at the mercy of the marketplace, and there's no changing that ever.
For
So
sure. I think really at the end it'll just be good for the popularity of the game. You
yeah,
know, just really appealing to that mass audience.
yeah, that's what we want for sure. Like it just at the end of the day, I guess what I can say is that there's so many games out there that are just like, we're a crypto game. I don't view us as a crypto game at all, like at
Yeah.
all. I just view us as part of our monetization has this secondary marketplace mechanic, and it's on the blockchain. like, doesn't make us a crypto game because you don't need crypto to play our game at all. Like
Yeah.
Like literally, if you go sign up for the game and play, like you're not even collecting the NFTs until you decide to go use the secondary marketplace. Or you're saying from the start, I'm going to go collect my cosmetics on Ethereum, which you can do. But I'm just saying that like some little Timmy, like 12-year-old or something like that, like he does not need to have a MetaMask wallet to play. And he's not even
Right.
collecting NFTs until he decides to use the secondary marketplace. So just know that like that setup is to make sure that we can include everybody, because at the end of the day we're a game, and we're going. Our goal is to really be the biggest multiplayer game, and you're
Yeah.
not going to get there, by not including people. There's kind of like a playbook for all the biggest games. Um, Free, extremely accessible, and multiple things to do. Like you go look at Minecraft, Fortnite. Now, Fortnite's not even a battle royale, by the way. If you go log in the game, there's like a million things to do, a bunch of different game modes.
Oh,
They
right.
basically turned it into Roblox. So like all these games like Minecraft, Roblox, Fortnite, GTA Online, they like all follow this like kind of playbook where it's like, hey, we have a bunch of shit to do on the game, uh, and it's accessible. Like those games are the most accessible in the world. Um, so yeah, we're following that playbook. Also, Roblox forgot to add to that list. We're following that
Oh, yeah.
playbook to where it's just free. Everybody can get in. There's no monetization stuff that's going to prevent people from playing. There's stuff to grind for. For example, you can earn the cosmetics for free and then go sell them on the secondary marketplace. So there is an earning mechanic in the game, but it's not mindless to where it's like, I logged in for the day and watered a plant, earned 15 cents or
Right.
something like that. And to go off of that, that's really good for the token itself, because all those other crypto tokens, depending if they're a governance token or they're like in-game rewards token, some people don't have them split up like that. And like you might be putting in money to an in-game token where you're just going to get dumped on by the players. So, and where our token is set up the opposite of that. It's set up to where as the game grows and as more people go and buy the cosmetics and play the game and interact with each other on the secondary marketplace, there's more buy pressure because there's no sell pressure from people earning the token in the game. So it's really like the more players off, the better the token does in terms of like growing the ecosystem for that and its usage.
For sure. Yeah, I think it's definitely a cool and unique approach you guys have taken. I mean, as far as I know, I haven't seen such an approach be taken before. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but
It's pretty
it seems
unique.
very unique.
Ethan and I spent a lot of time studying and then creating it. Like Ethan played a ton of RuneScape back in the day, so he's like real familiar with earning mechanics. Because that game's like one of the biggest, like one of the first
Yeah.
play to earn games ever. And then like, dude, my time even goes way back in Final Fantasy Online, where I would fish these really specific fish, and then I would sell them to the vendor, and I would go and sell the in-game currency called Gil to a third party for money. I was like 13 years old, and I'm just like, making a few $100 a month off of fishing in Final Fantasy Online. So it was like, dude, like
Nice.
literally from like the beginning of gaming, it's like this play to earn shit has always like kind of interested me. And like even in World of Warcraft, like we used to go bot accounts and sell them, like so it's just always has been like some interest aside from like, oh, I just love the game mechanics, I love this game, but also the
Right.
earning has always interested me. I'm obviously like a little entrepreneurial at heart, but nonetheless, like I hope you guys can see how like Compete pretty much came to be and like why we do the secondary marketplace and like kind of how I even got here, because it's like really a collection of stuff
For
that really
sure.
like put me over.
Yeah. I think it's, definitely impressive, not only the product you guys are building, but also just, the professionality and the care of the team. You know, you guys are very clear about how much Compete means to you, and I think that's really cool to see.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that wraps up all of my questions for you. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
No, I think you covered mostly everything. We are in
Okay.
closed beta, so if you're listening and you have a PC, please download it and get in there. And we run play tests, probably be doing them about once a week from here on out. So look for those. It's like the two things. Some people are always confused if we're in closed, like if it's accessible or not. So yeah, 100% accessible. So even if we're not running the play test, you can still get on and still play practice mode. So you can play the kart race, you can play the battle royale, like shoot the guns, practice racing around. Just know that.
Right on. Is there anyone in the room that would like to say anything? Make sure you guys have retweeted the this tweet about the AMA. We're going to be drawing the winner pretty shortly. All right, no one's got their hand up. I'm just going to go ahead and plug this into Twitter Picker, and we'll see who our lucky winner is.
Who's walking home with $100 worth of Compete token?
Yeah, we need a drum roll.
I don't have the sound effect board up since I'm on mobile.
Let's see. You know, this website's a bit new to me. Justin, you want to?
Yeah. Why don't should we get it? Hold on one sec. This will take me a couple of minutes as well. Do you want to get it when we get off and pick somebody?
Yeah, sure.
Will be easier. I don't know if you even have a retweeter. We'll get it set up. Don't worry, everybody.
Alrighty. Well, it has been a pleasure having the Compete team on for the first CoinScan AMA. Make sure you check out their socials, their Telegram. I'll go ahead and leave a comment under this AMA with those links. And then let's meet in your Telegram for the award, Justin.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, I'm just saying I'll leave a comment under this Twitter Spaces tweet with Compete's links. And then should we meet in your Telegram for the winner of the award?
Yeah, sounds good.
Alrighty.
All right.
Hope everyone here has had a lovely time. Thank you guys so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks a lot for having me. Really appreciate it, CoinScan. CoinScan's the best.
Right on.
All right.
All right.
Thanks again.
Have a good day, everyone.